Hi, everyone. I'm Cassie Brown.
Rhonda Melogy.
And today we are talking about the essentials of time blocking. And let me just give you a warning here. Hot Mama's coming in hot because this is one of Rhonda Melogy's top-notch love languages. So I'm going to pass it on to her. And I hope you just get your mind blown with how you can start looking at restructuring where you have I can't even reveal, you're going to actually find time in what we're going to show you today. All right, go for it, Rhonda.
Okay, so I think that people who come into our community, one of the biggest things, we ask them, what is the biggest friction point that you're having in your business, in your life right now? And the biggest, I would 99.9% response is, I need more time. Hey there, it's Rhonda Melogy. If you like what you're seeing, make sure to hit the subscribe button below so you know when I publish a new video, probably any minute now. I need more time. I need more time. Now, let me just say, between Cassie and I, we have 8 kids. We have 2 spouses. We have a small farm. We have our businesses. We have a very, very active life. We get you, boo. We completely understand. But I want to reframe the way that you're thinking about time. Just because you have more time does not mean you are going to be more successful. We need to take the time that we have and focus our time and attention on what we have. I mean, it's simple as that. And the only way, and this is where the rubber hits the road, the only way to know how much time you have is to kind of do a time audit. I know that doesn't sound sexy, and all of a sudden you're like, wah, wah, wah. But here's the thing that I know to be true, because between Cassie and I, we've lost 80 pounds this year. And in that journey, part of it was being very visual with an app. When I was thinking about, I was not being successful in my goal. When I actually had, and here is the key, a visual accountability tool, guess what? I was successful. So many times people will come to me and say, Rhonda, I've got 20 hours and 30 hours a week that I can work. In reality, they have 8. But that's okay, because in those 8 hours, we focus that time and attention on one thing, and we let processes and systems support it. Look how I just kind of came up there. And all of a sudden, even though people say multitasking is not a thing, you feel like you are the queen of multitasking. And your business now all of a sudden becomes lighter. And you feel like you're making progress faster. Because friends, we try to organize our business. We try to run our business as if we are clocking in and we are clocking out. And in reality, that just does not happen. Something is always vying for your attention. So I think that the biggest thing is you got to get it out of your head and you got to see how much time you have. And I don't care how much time you have, because you can run a successful business with 8 hours a week. Cassie Brown.
Yeah, I want to pop in here and just say, we've been very vocal that one of our goals and the way that we structure our days and our weeks is a 3-day work week. So when Rhonda says, evaluate your time and you track it, it doesn't matter what visual tool that you use. It could just be a sheet of notebook paper and a pen, and you write Monday through Friday, Monday through Saturday, whatever days you want are days that you want to create. So it's what time do you want to start? What time do you want to end? It's taking inventory, what happens in the morning, what happens in the afternoon, what happens in the evening. I guess I'll go ahead and interject a little bit. The way for me, when I think about what Rhonda's saying here and the essentials of time blocking, it's prioritizing your life. And I can say a lot of relationships, a lot of entrepreneurs that I know, a lot of people who are just visionary, they're driven by this. So this is fuel for us. We could do it 24/7. Does that mean that we're optimized 24/7? Does that mean our family appreciates 24/7? No. So we really want you to realistically look at what you want your week to look like. what your family needs are. Like I pick up our daughter, I get her off to school. I do carpool in the morning for an hour. I come back, I have coffee with my dad and my husband by the fire. Like that's part of my routine that I cherish because it won't always be there. I know I have to wrap up by 3. So I have this little window, right? That's just a live example of what Rhonda just shared. I know I'm looking at like from 10 to 3. That means I'm going to start backing it out, right? If I want to wrap up by 3, then the last thing that goes on my agenda for the day could be 2, right? And so it seems so simple, but this is the things that we just wake up and our feet hit the ground. It's like, where's the fire? Where's the fire? Where's the fire? Where's the fire? And that is where our time and attention goes instead of, Rhonda has a quote here, giving your time directions. So on that, I'll pass it back to her to continue the essentials of time blocking.
Yeah, I think for me, what I really discovered was because we've homeschooled for 14 years, and I did not have the luxury. Kids came first, homeschooling came first, and then whatever time was left over, that was the time that I would take. Now, we have very active children as well, and where we live, it literally is like 45 minutes to soccer practice, 2 of them practicing an hour and a half. I didn't have time to come back. Now, I want you to think about how you would use that time. Are you sitting there scrolling on social media and like 30 minutes later, you look up and you're like, I'm never going to get that time back? I did that too. Are you sitting there and you're chatting with your bestie at soccer practice or ballet practice, whatever practice that you are driving to right now? That is gold. And so what I would do, I call that my magical pockets of time. That was a time block that literally I would work on client work. And the way that I was able to get through that client work quickly is because I had processes. I had a checklist, very simple checklist. Step 1, step 2, step 3, kids are done. They get in the car, we get home. When I have another block, I can pick up step 5, step 6, step 7, and I can complete the task. Otherwise, it's like, I know that like 50 tabs open and the music is playing and we don't know what our name is and where we need to go. That's how many rabbit holes and how much like our attention is being distracted. And so understanding how we take those unproductive pockets, we create magical pockets. We have to identify them as that. It's not an either or it's not like, there's not a work-life balance. I mean, there just isn't. We just find magical pockets where like multitasking is a beautiful thing. We're showing up, kids are at soccer practice. I'm doing what I want to do, fulfilling what I want to do for myself and for my family. Case closed, go home and do other things. I think it's also really important. So I want you to think about where your magical pockets of time. A lot of times people can pick up in that amount of time. I think it used to be like 9 hours a week. I mean, that's crazy how much time we waste. The other thing that I also want to make sure that, and I have an area of opportunity here. I never call them failures, or I try not to shame myself, is transitions. I'm not really good with transitions. Cassie is really good about building transitions. And I know for me, like at the end of the day, if I've gone from meeting to meeting to meeting to meeting, I didn't have time to go to the bathroom. I didn't have time to eat lunch. The dogs have not gone outside, like those types of things, I'm really cranky. And so it's a check. It's a natural check within me. It's like, I need to be better with my transitions and my time. So do you want to speak to that a little bit, Cassie?
Oh, yeah, baby, I can speak to transitions. So like this came up for me because just like what Rhonda was saying, I was noticing I would be irritable and I would be exhausted. Like my family was getting what was left over from me because I was giving my best. Well, and until I started really looking at, true time blocking, putting in the transitions, like going out and letting the sunshine hit my face, like even just going for a little walk, letting the dogs out or whatever like that. It wasn't just my family, but it's like without those transitions, if you're going from call to call to call to call to call to call, you're really only operating at like 20, 30, maybe 40% of your best, right? Have you ever felt at the end of the day, your brains were just like scrambled eggs and you had just like giving every part of your essence out to everybody else and there was nothing left for you, your business, your family, or anything like that? And so what I mean by transitions is the example that I gave when we were looking at evaluate what your time looks like now. And then I started backpedaling, right? If I want my day to stop at 3, that means the last thing I'm giving my attention to is at 2. And I might really stop at 2:30. I'm giving myself a 30-minute transition to buffer, wrap everything up, shift my mind into where I'm going next. And that is to pick up my little girl from the bus stop, because she's not going to be 8 years old forever. And I don't want her experience of mommy to always be on the phone rushing about like I've been that mom. And I want to be fully present. And in order to be fully present, I know for me to operate at 100% with my family, how I need to backtrack out. Same thing with clients. If you wrap up a call, build in a 10, 15-minute buffer for you to stretch, for you to take notes, for you to make a voice message. I mean, we do content creation sometimes. Rhonda will do a quick video of a takeaway of like one of the things that came from the client. And now we have one more video to put out on social media. So these are just things that, honestly, it's very similar to if you've ever went to like a 5-course meal. It's like where you're having coffee at, between one course and the next course, or they pass the sorbet between one course and the next. It's a cleanse and refresh. And now you're focused on what this next block of time is going to be. And I promise you, if you build in the transitions, like looking at it is like, oh my gosh, if I buffer 10 and 15 minutes, it's easy for us to say instinctually, well, I'm wasting 2 hours a day. You are refreshing your brain and yourself and your soul and operating at 100%. And to me, that's multiplying all day long, baby. When you go from 20 to 30 to maybe 40% peak to 100% peak, just because you sort of treated yourself like a little IndyCar 500 pit crew, that means a lot. The paced lap is there for a reason. And in our businesses, we get to respect that same thing.
It's really hard to do. I mean, these are very simple solutions and we live by simplicity. We are not saying this is easy to implement. I think a recent experience for me was when we got our puppy. And I would say, hey, Sari, set a 25-minute timer, because, puppy bladders are like smaller than gnats. And that's all she had. And I literally would have to get up or I would have to clean up a mess. So that was my built-in accountability. But I will tell you that 25 minutes of focus and attention on one very specific task. And then the gift was I got to get up and walk outside with the puppy and breathe in fresh air. And you're like, well, that's pretty simple. I want you to think about a time where you've sat down to do a task and you've got lost in the task. And 2 hours later, you're no closer near the finish line and the dogs still haven't gone out. You have to clean up the mess. The kids are screaming at you. Whoever comes home, you don't know what you're having for dinner. And it never feels like you're making progress. So what Cassie and I are really trying to do is to meet you in that moment right there to get you to having a puppy. And only spending 25 minutes and doing a 5-minute break. I'm also a huge proponent of like 10 minutes of time. There's something about like my A type, and I would not say I'm competitive, Cassie Brown. Competitive mama in me that sits down. I got 10 minutes. Let me see what I can get done. Let me see what I can get done. It's just, I feel like I am like, I'm winning and somehow or another I'm sneaking by. And it's just this amazing feeling. And I mean, you just need to have fun. You need to have fun and not feel like you're carrying the weight of the world around on your shoulders when you're running your business.
Amen. So to wrap everything up, what we've covered today, the essentials of time blocking. One, evaluate what you have to work with, where you're at, where your time and attention is currently going. Like, give yourself a time audit. All right. Two, reveal your magical pockets of time, right? We get away from, like what Rhonda said, clocking in and clocking out. If we feel like if our goal is that 8 a.m. to 2 p.m., that 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., right? And that's what you give to your business, I guarantee you will fill the time. But you will be able to accomplish the same thing in 2 to 4 hours with the focused time. So find your magical pockets of time and identify them. All right. 3, build in transitions and buffers to maintain and protect your energy. All right. And 4, it gets to be fun, right? All work and no play made, who is it? All work and no play made Dan a dull boy or something like that. Like, I feel like I learned how to read in one of those books, but it's so true, right? Like, we've published videos before, we just recorded one, the 3 words that every CEO needs to hear, as simple as sexy. I feel like business gets to be fun, right? Those are, we could add a whole list of phrases to reincorporate into your life. And if you're finding yourself in the drudgery of your business or you're procrastinating, there's some underlying issue of why this is a repeating cycle in your life or in your business. And so, like, ask yourself, is this fun? How can it be fun? And those are our essentials of time blocking.
And I love how you wrap everything up with a bow. And I will just put like the stamp so we can buckle this thing up. To learn more about how Cassie and I can support you in your business journey, please hop on over to Freedom to Impact. I can't even talk.
It's okay. We're still really excited about this website because it's gorgeous.
freedomtoimpact.com. We have all kinds of pearls in there. Customers for Life podcast. We've got the quick win shop. We've got more videos. And we would just love to share in your wins. So thanks so much for spending time with us today.
Bye.
Thanks for spending some time with us today. Click the link. It's the first link. We make it super simple for any of the tools and resources that we talked about in today's video, helping you make it easy for your freedom to impact.